Hey, hope you're good. So, this little video on water itself. Okay, so I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to realise that without it you can't function. So we know that a typical man is made of around 60% of water, a lady around 50. Our brains are actually 75% water. Okay, you can only really survive a few days uh, without water. We could survive a bit longer without food if we had to. Okay, our body, so of a 150-pound man, just to give you an example. So bearing in mind 150 pounds is just over 10 stone. Okay, so we've got 30 pounds of protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals, all stored in various places. We've got fat, and we've got water being 90 pounds. Okay, so as you can see, predominantly water is what we are. So the effects of dehydration, we know that there are performance in the performance world. There are detriments to being slightly dehydrated, but also in everyday life as well. So if we're 1% dehydrated, we can actually the thirstiness that we experience can result in reduced concentration, maybe even a slight headache. If we go down by 5%, we become very hot and tired with even further decreased performance. 10% dehydration is when somebody starts getting a little bit delirious and they perhaps experience some blurred vision. 20% dehydration can result in death. Okay, so we need to think about that and sort of obviously how we go about our day, making sure that we are hydrating and obviously supporting all of our detoxification pathways like our kidneys and liver, etc., that are working really, really hard to filter the toxins that we've got. Now, if we're dehydrated, our blood will be thicker, we'll potentially have higher blood pressure, and we just can't get rid of those toxins or deliver the nutrients to the body as efficiently as we should. So the function of the body in the water, we know it transports nutrients through the body, obviously helping the blood to do that by being less viscous. It moistens the eyes, mouth, and nose. You know that when you go on an airplane, that's why your eyes itch a little bit. It's dehydrating you with the aircon. Can help maintain your pH and electrolyte balance. Okay, so obviously what we don't want to do is flush the body out with too much water, but equally we need water to carry those vital electrolytes and maintain balance within the body and around the cells. Participates in many chemical reactions. Obviously we need it there to help with those. All the enzyme reactions that happen, helps maintain normal body temperature, reduces the chances of kidney stones, so it supports the kidneys. May reduce cancer risk. Okay, may reduce constipation because obviously it's easier for the body to digest the foods. Yeah, ensures adequate blood volume, which we mentioned earlier. So if there's not enough water, then the blood will become more viscous and it's harder for the body to push it around. Okay, and forms the main components of bodily fluids as well. Recommended sources of water. Okay, so we've got drinking water in pots and stuff. We've got bottled water, groundwater, mineral water, well water, spring water, sparkling bottled water, and purified water. Okay, so there's different types of water there that you've got. Recommended water intake. So we know that the water leaves the body through several routes, and the equal amount can equal between 1.4 and 2.8 litres a day. So the advised water consumption for an adult is between 1 and 1.5 millilitres for each calorie expended daily. Okay, so to give you an example there below, if we know that your activity level results in you requiring 2,000 calories a day, then we're going to need between 2 to 3 litres a day. Now, another way that I like to talk to people about this is for every 50 pounds of body weight, we're taking on 1 litre of water, up to probably a maximum 3.5 to 4 litres a day. Now, depending on where you sit in terms of your activity levels and what environment you're working in, these numbers can fluctuate, obviously, on an individual basis. If you're training, if you're exercising, then sometimes I will talk a little bit about, like, if you're doing a training session for half an hour, like whatever you drink during that session, we sort of almost assume it doesn't count as part of our daily intake in some ways because we know that we're probably going to sweat that out as a result. Water consumption throughout training should obviously be a given. Just be careful. If you see that you lose a kilo during the training session, then just over time you put that back in. You don't need to put it all back in one go. So some general guidelines to help you out when you're thirsty. Drink sounds really obvious. When you're not thirsty anymore, just you don't need to carry on. During high heat exercise, drink enough to compensate for the lost fluids. Now, when it's different when we're talking about performance, okay, because obviously if we get to the point where we're thirsty, it's too late, and we also need some electrolytes in there as well to help replenish them. We're sweating, but it's just general guidelines for day to day, okay. So when you're not thirsty, you can stop drinking, and just accommodate the heat and exercise that they're all part of this this matrix. Okay, hope that's useful. There's a little bit of information on water.